Yo, what's good, y'all? Welcome to another edition of the Triple Crown Podcast. And of course, we're doing an album review on Vinyl Days by Logic. Go ahead and hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. We really would appreciate it. But my man Rush, let's go ahead and get this started.
For sure, man. This is Logic's 12th studio album, and it is his last one on Def Jam. So I know Logic is happy about that. It's cemented all throughout this album his love hate relationship with Def Jam. He initially had teased the album in January on Twitter, and then it finally came into fruition. And around April, he released his two singles and officially announced that it would be dropping sometime in June, and it released June 17th. The track is 30 albums and it's sprinkled with a lot of classic hip hop, man. T minus is on here. Six, his producer, is on here. In-house producer DJ Premier. So and it's heavily sampled with J Dilla beats and J Dilla sounds from J Dilla's Donuts. If you a big fan of J Dilla like myself, man, it was great hearing people sample J Dilla. Detroit don't get enough love, and Dilla definitely don't get enough love in hip hop. So that was great to see. But yeah, it was that old Logic Feel album, man. And like I said, 30 tracks, bro. So yeah, it was a pretty long album. You want to go down that track
Yes, sir.
list.
Bro, sheesh. Hey, I might lose some breath as we reading this track list. Have you step in or something?
Hey, breath control, bro.
Let's go ahead, man. Track one, Danger. After that, we got Tetris. Three, In My Lifetime, featuring Action Bronson. Four, Decades. Five, JJ Abrams. Six, Black and White Boy. Sorry, Black White Boy. Seven, Quasi. Eight, Bleed It. Nine, LaDonda. 10, Aaron Judge. 11, Clouds featuring Currency and Langston Bristol. 12, Michael Rap. 13, Therapy Music featuring Russ.
14, Tony Revolori.
15, we got Rogue One. 16, we got Breath Control featuring Wiz Khalifa. 17, we got NEMS. 18, we got Nardwuar featuring Doc D, aka Logic's alter ego. 19, we got Kickstyle featuring the Rat Pack, Ben Limbo, iamJMARS, and Shy Gray. Um, 20, we got Early Bird. 21, we got 10 Years featuring Royce the 5'9", one of my favorites. 22, we got Porta One with featuring RZA. 23, we got NeedleDrop. 24, we got Introducing Nezi and featuring Nezi. 25, we got Orville featuring Blue, Exile, and Like. 26, we got Carnival featuring AZ, classic artist. 27, we got Lena's Insight. 28, we got Vinyl Days featuring DJ Premier. 29, we got I Guess I Love It featuring The Game. And 30, the longest track of them all, Sayonara.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Going through that track list though, man. What was a couple things that caught your eye?
The things that caught my eye was kind of what I stated early, man. I mean, these were heavily sampled beats. It's got like a real like classic hip hop feel
Mhm.
to it, which is something I like. From the very beginning, I mean, this is sprinkled with Funk Master Flex
Yes.
yelling and getting all hype, and it really it puts you in a mind state of almost like a mixtape to me. That's what it really sounds like. The songs weren't really long. I'll say the average track for this album was about maybe like 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 30 seconds, excuse me. But they weren't really long tracks at all. So it was really like bars, a little hook maybe, and then just the out chorus to kind of set it up. What about yourself, man?
What caught me, honestly, like I said, it's 30 tracks on the album. Honestly, 11 other 30 tracks are interludes. That kind of caught me in the mix of it. So it's really technically 19 songs up here. But also surprised that he had a feature with Royce the 5'9" in the game. I was kind of surprised by those two features a little bit. But I definitely did love sorry about that. I definitely did like the interludes on the album as well too. The Michael rap, also the JJ Abrams one as well too. And also the first two. Like you said, we had Fuck Flex talking on the track. So definitely, I was definitely kind of okay looking forward to this album when I was listening to it.
Yeah, I was surprised to see AZ on here. AZ is a older act. He really came up with Nas and back in the 90s and the firm era, and then also seeing him collab with Nezi, someone who I had never heard of previously too. And it was just cool to kind of see, him shout out another rapper on here. So yeah, it definitely caught my attention. I was like, let's see what's gonna go on here. And then seeing DJ Premier at the end, I was like, all right, primo, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Hey, look,
Yeah,
I don't know. For me, I feel like if you get Morgan Freeman on your album, I don't know. It's kind of like it's like, oh, that's Morgan Freeman, yo. First it
yeah,
was done by 21,
yeah,
but even still, it's like it's Morgan Freeman, bro. Like I like that, yo.
for sure. For sure. Now, first listen, I was gonna ask you, first listen, so how did you feel about the flow of everything? Given the fact that it was 30 songs, did you feel like the album flowed?
It definitely had a sequence to it. It was definitely a good album sequence. I feel like it had a nice overall sound. It was nothing, no crazy beat going left and then coming back right or anything like that. It stayed consistent throughout the whole album, and then you sprinkle in his interludes, and that just kind of made a way around it. Like you said earlier, talking about his ups and downs through Def Jam as well too.
Yeah,
yeah, it was a nice listen to first round.
yeah. I'll say probably first listen for me, and kind of like the feel that I got throughout. I didn't like bleed it where it was placed. I think Quasi, which was a shout out to Madlib, um, really just get trying to get Madlib to rap again. Um, but I didn't feel like Quasi and LaDonda fit good. What Bleed It fit good in between those two tracks. I think that should have been separated. Those two, Quasi and LaDonda, were two like sample heavy bass tracks, and then the Bleed It had more of that. It had that Beastie Boys rock feel to it, and I was like, I don't know if I really like that right after. Quasi and in between Quasi and LaDonda. But other than that, yeah, I agree. I think the overall like sound of the album was pretty good. Um Bleed It just didn't feel like it belonged on the album to me. It just was such a like breach feel to it. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Um, mm, and of course, that was sampled by the Beastie Boys 2004. But no. Skip.
Yeah, yeah. But everything else, man, it was pretty good. A Black White Boy kind of it took me a little bit of time to get into. Um yeah, but after I was like, it's not best song to me, but it was just okay. But Logic drops gems all throughout here. I really like the collab that him and Russ did. He is specifically explained on that song why he stopped rapping, saying that like speak on mental health. People laughed at me. That's why I tapped out, retired because I felt rapped out. I feel like people more connected with the ish that's not what rap's about. So I mapped out. So he kind of gives you a reason, and then like Russ was the perfect compliment coming into on that first part of the verse, explaining like the anxiety and the rap industry and stuff like that. So I think them two together, man, on that beat that that six put together was amazing, bro. That was a really good collab that I really enjoyed hearing. Um and then like yeah, it was sprinkled through. I mean, Logic did his thing on here, man. He really did. It was a pretty good album.
Yeah, that's a fact. So what's your top three, top five tracks you got on this album, man?
So my top tracks are Final Days, Breath Control, Therapy Music, and Clouds. Those would be my top tracks, my top of the top. I just feel like those songs, bro. Vinyl Days is the best song on here to me. Um, DJ Premier with the outro for Vinyl Days and then producing it by Six is the one of the better produced tracks on here. His verse and flow is cadent. Well, and his cadence was absolutely fire. He put something on here. Rose through depression like a rose. I was destined. Your bro reached his goals like D Rose with the left hand. When life takes a toll, I suppose it's a lesson. Like that, and I'm just reading it off, but in the context of the song, when you can actually hear the beat and how he flowed on that, the cadence in there was like
Mm.
ridiculous, bro. To get that off, and he was spitting, he was going in on vinyl days. Breath Control, him and Wiz, that's an excellent collab, bro. And they're actually going on tour together. Um, so I mean, it's I wish I could go on that tour, but those two together, man, is always classic. They've always collab well. I remember I think the last song I heard from them was Intica Badu on one of, I think it was like Bobby Tarantino too, but it was, they always have a good like high music collab. I love that. But Logic bodied them on that. Wiz verse was solid. Wiz flow was good. His verse was but Logic went ham on Breath Control, bro. He came for the jugular.
And I tell you this, he killed almost everybody on his own album. Tell you that, probably except for like 3 or 4 people. I feel like I like Currency verse off of Cloud.
I do too.
But then
I do
also
too.
honestly to talk about 10 years with Royce, I feel like Royce kind of got him on that one personally.
Definitely
Yeah,
did. That's a good
yes sir,
assessment,
yes
my
sir.
brother. Definitely did.
And also
Nezi,
introducing Nezi, my
yeah.
fault, my fault. I feel like Nezi got him on that one as well a little bit, and also the game.
But I think yeah. Oh, you
I
think
think
Gang
Game
got him?
got him.
I see. I hated that.
Oh,
I didn't like that song.
really?
No, so that song had 3 beat switches in it, and the first beat that they played was perfect, and I felt like Logic and Game would have took advantage of that, but then it switched, and the sound was totally opposite of what it was originally for. I was like, this kind of defeats the purpose of this original flow and sound. It just, I don't know. I hated that those beat switch, and then it beat switched in the end, and he starts humming, and it's like a light, playful, joyous. Like if you gonna get Game on there, bro, you gotta have Game. Like, and Game was kind of speaking knowledge on here. He was on his like, pro, like when he was talking about Malcolm and
Uh-huh.
all of them, and and down in Miami, it was like real settled. But you got Game on here, bro. You got to go hard. I don't want to hear the da 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 da. Like it was just light and the playful end. I didn't like that at all.
For my top 3, I'm definitely I like 10 years, I like Clouds, some of the ones you just said. But I like I guess I love it. Um Introducing Nezi. And I also did like Orville and yeah, probably LaDonda or Quasi, just because of how the interludes just came in with each other. But yeah, but I like the last song though, man. Like right before, yeah, I guess I love it. I definitely did like that song though, bro. I like the 3 beat switches personally, and I feel like the game he did his work, his business, where he needed to, but then Logic just kind of made 2 ends of it. But it was all created by them. But no samples or nothing like that. But yeah, I definitely did like the songs though. Or especially, I guess I love it.
Didn't care for it like that, man. I didn't care for it like that, man. I'll tell you, you did mention LaDonda. LaDonda is an interesting track. He's actually Logic is talking about a fellow YouTube album reviewer, and he's going in on him, man. Anthony Fantano.
Yeah.
He said, "Hey yo, I used to hate you because you used to on my music, but now we homies. I take your criticism and use it. I used to fantasize about murdering you, choking you to death, and watching you from your point of view till we got friendly." I like, yo, this man Logic is wild, bro. I think it was a little corny coming out of a YouTuber, but the song was good. So I won't say that's like one of my like dislike songs because I felt like the song was good.
I feel you. Hey, real quick, another one that I did like too. I like Rogue One. I like the boom bot, like the boom bat beat that he came on with that song, and also him just talking about his retirement and what brought him into that a little bit and what got him out. But yeah, I definitely, bro. I said this album exactly, bro, exactly. So like, I feel like Logic he came correct with the features, even though how long this album really is. It's only an hour and 24 minutes. That's the same length of CBL and also Donda itself around that time frame. So even though it's 30 tracks, like I said, 11 of them are interludes. So 19 whole tracks is up here. I still feel like it's a good album. So what's your three skippable tracks?
Uh, all of the skits, you can get all of them up out of there. I ain't like none of that.
That's
It's
11.
11 skits. It's one thing when you have like yeah, it's one thing when you got like your album and you got like, 2, 3 skits, it's cute, it's
Right.
cool. You know what I'm saying? It could be funny. And historically I really enjoyed Logic skits. I mean, he's had Morgan Freeman, he had Rick and Morty, he always has some good skits. People calling in all the time. But this is just overkill, bro. It's 11 skits. Why? Like, that's
I
complete
feel like he
overkill.
did it just because this is his last album on Def Jam. Like the ups and downs, but
That's
like the
cool.
farewell, this is it for Def Jam. Like people that I messed with over the years or the people that he know. This like I've kind of this also kind of shows this as well over the past 12 years or so. He knows a lot of people. And not saying that he can get anybody he wants, but to pull a Morgan Freeman or even like certain other people that you wouldn't expect to be on a Logic album. It's like, oh wow, like Aaron Judge, like, like come on now, like baseball player, New York Yankees,
Yeah.
like little things like that. So it's just like I could I commend him for that. But finish your statement though.
Well, I don't commend him for it because like all of that stuff you said, he said it in the outro. Like it was a 10-minute outro of him talking about his experience coming up through Def Jam, through the album, the people that he you know met with, and all of that. So he said all of that in there. The 11 skits is just overkill to me. Just cut it down to about like 4 or 5. That's my only thing. So skits, get all of them up out
Okay.
of there. Um, I guess I loved it. That can definitely go for the reason that I previously stated with the 3 beat switches. How I don't think it was. I think looking at that, I was intrigued to see how Game and Logic would collab because they have different styles, but they both rap well when at their fullest potential. But I feel like that collab just went completely out the window once they did those 3 beat switches and it ended up on Logic with his happy, jumpy type music and singing over the beat. So that completely like got me up out of there with that. And then Bleed It because it was a dedication to the Beastie Boys. He sampled the Beastie Boys, and I don't care for the Beastie Boys. So that wasn't something that was appealing to me. So, those 3 tracks were out of there for me. But everything else on the album was playable. Everything on the album was playable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything on the album was pretty solid. And then there were just some tracks that just stood out above all. But go ahead, what are your dislikes, man?
Um, might have to go with Kickstyle. That freestyle, honestly, you said in the very beginning of the episode, I kind of felt like it was a little bit of a mixtape, a little bit when the first listen through as well. But definitely Kickstyle, that freestyle can just go out the window for me a little bit. Um, Sayonara, even though that's the outro track, it can definitely go. I ain't trying to listen to 10 minutes. He ain't J. Cole, bro. I'm sorry. Yeah, J. Cole did his. You fine, bro. I don't need that from you. But lastly, I probably had to go with In My Lifetime, featuring Action Boss Bronson.
Oh,
Yeah.
what? That was one of the better. I don't know about that one. I agree with everything else you said because I feel like Kickstyle was like, it just I mean, it was the Rat Pack. They was all just going in, barring up, but it wasn't anything that really stood out to me. But in my lifetime, Action Bronson was they killed that, bro. And I like Action Bronson.
But
Like,
also, okay. I was kind of reaching with that one a little bit myself. I am gonna hold you, but Nardwuar, I could probably skip that one. I got my list up now, y'all.
okay,
I
yeah,
got my
that's
list up
fair.
now, y'all. I would probably even go with no. No, honestly, it's either decades or it is in my life. It's one of those two tracks. I don't like the production behind it as much, and it can't get skipped. Yeah, it's one of those two.
What you
It's
go decades?
it's one
It
of them
can't be
two. It's one
decades.
of them two, bro. I forgot which one, but it's one of those two. I would definitely like. I would just skip it, like just to keep the album pushing. Yeah.
And Decades was the only track produced by T Minus, who's like worked with Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Drake, Heavy. Decades
S-
is fire
So
to
yeah,
me,
it's in
bro.
my life then. Yeah,
Like
it's in my life. Yeah,
it's
it's in my
okay.
life.
It was
It's still
I still
yeah.
can't
It's
let you
but
live
not.
off
It's.
that, bro. In my life go
I
hard,
think
bro.
honestly it. I think it was the verse for Bronson. I think that's what honestly that kind of pushed me away.
That's fair. It's either you like action or you don't like them. If I had to pick anything in that portion of the album that I probably wouldn't like, it'll probably be Black White Boy. Black White Boy, and then of course Bleed It. I already stated that was kind of difficult for me to get through. But that whole beginning of the album is fire, especially Clouds and Therapy music stuff
Yeah,
like
I ain't
that.
gonna hold you. I definitely did. Yeah, man, I definitely did. Like, when he brought Wiz and Currency, two different songs. I know, but I'm saying the back half of this album for me, I give it a thumbs up, bro.
Yeah.
I like it. I like the back half.
Yeah. So how you gonna rate this album on the Triple Crown podcast stamp? Is it producing premium product or producing poor product, my brother?
It's producing good. It's producing good product, bro. I'm giving this a 4 star, bro. I am gonna hold you. Give it a 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5.
That sound premium to
Yeah.
me. I give it. It's gonna get my stamp of approval. Bam,
Okay.
there it
Okay.
is. And I give it a solid 3.5 out of 5 stars.
Okay.
Solid 3.5. If you get them skits out of there and condense this album, this is arguably one of Logic's best albums. Like I said, I think if this albums got condensed and some of them skits got out and you tie up some of these kind of the songs that don't really mesh as
Mm.
well, this is up there with Under Pressure and My Incredible True Story for Logic for me. And the Bobby Tarantino's his mixtape era. This is a really good album. And coming off what he was previously doing, this is thank you. Thank you. So what do you expect from Logic in the future, bro?
I know he's dropping. He told us on this album that he coming out with another album next season. Say next season, next year. The name of it is College Park, coming out 2023. Definitely can't wait for that just to see
Yep.
what's going to happen next. But honestly, touring and just living life. Of course, he's going independent, so definitely can't wait to see how that's going to go. You know, his whole problem with Def Jam was clearing samples, and hopefully he won't have no problems going forward. But Logic is a good artist. He a bar dropping artist. I definitely like him. Definitely like this album, but appreciate it though.
Yeah. Yeah. I second that. I'm very intrigued to see what happens now that he's off Def Jam. Like you said, he's touring and he's releasing the album next year. So I'm really intrigued to see how that album is gonna sound now that he doesn't have the pressures of Def Jam trying to sell, trying to get their numbers back. So I'm definitely intrigued by that. And yeah, man, I hope Logic keeps producing this because in the beginning, I was sold on Logic. I even have Under Pressure on vinyl. And throughout his time, his tenure in Def Jam, man, he just kind of been releasing projects. Has been like a consistent wave. And then the last 5 years for him, well, I would say that's like 3. I haven't really been into Logic. So it's good to see him back giving us that hip hop that I really enjoy. And yeah, yeah, I'm
Real quick,
excited. What's up?
when did you start listening to Logic?
When Under Pressure dropped in
Okay,
2014.
for me it was Bobby Tarantino. That's when I started listening to him. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But facts.
But yeah, this is the Triple Crown Podcast album review of Vinyl Days by Logic. We appreciate you all for listening. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe like we did before. If you have any disagreements with the things that we said, please comment below. Last time we did our Lupe Fiasco, Drill Music and Zion vid, and my boy Benny was getting cooked in them comment sections saying he was crazy on them Lupe
It's all right.
takes.
I take it.
It was
I take it.
hilarious.
It don't matter.
Yeah, yeah. But please, please, guys, make sure you guys drop comments down, man. We appreciate that. We love that engagement with you guys. And this is a Triple Crown podcast, and we are